This is an Ellis Mowers and More small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's repair, we are going to finish up this Toro Time Cutter Z5030 zero turn that originally came in because the starter was bad on it. What happened was, if y'all saw in part one, the starter, what I assume happened, this machine had been sitting in storage for a while, and it was kept up pretty well. It was very, very clean when it came in here, and so it kind of makes me wonder if either the shed had a leak, there was a bunch of humidity in the shed, or if it was washed before it was put up and moisture just crept down into the cylinder. So what happened was the guy put a battery in it, went to try and start it. The starter caught the flywheel didn't give, and the starter shaft gave. So we had to put a starter on it. But that was originally what I thought I was going to have to do, and send it back out the door. Because I would have thought, with the way that the condition of this machine was when it came in, it was not going to need a lot more work than that. Boy, was I so wrong. We had the engine was completely seized on it. Took the borescope, looked inside it. Rust, especially in the right side cylinder, where, I don't know, moisture got in it through the head gasket, seeped its way down in there, and locked that engine solid. WD-40 wire wheel got it freed up. Originally it didn't fire, but then after we let it sit overnight and tried it again, we got it to fire off, which is good. That's pretty much where we're at. We found a little bit of water in the tank. I took the tank out of it, and we're going to rejoin this video now putting the tank back in, which is just a couple of bolts, and just slide it down into a couple of tabs. So in this part 2 of the video, we're going to get it all back together, see what else we've got to do to this thing in order to get it back to the customer in a running, driving, and mowing state. So we're just kind of going to put a bow on it here in part 2. Hopefully y'all enjoy the video. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, put everything back together. New fuel tank grommet as well. Got some fresh gas in it. So hook the battery up. What I'm going to do is just turn it over and let it pump gas out the fuel pump. Then I'm going to hook the fuel line up, prime it a little bit through the carb, and see if we can get it to stay running. I really don't know if the carb is good or what, so we're going to see what we can manage here. So I'm just going to see if I can get it to pump some fuel here first. I haven't yet, so I'm going to try and prime it a couple of times here, so it does a little bit more revolutions to get that fuel pumping. Okay. Smells good. Okay. So let's see what we've got. We've got a lot of blow by, that's for sure. Though we've got at least one cylinder running. So, I don't know. I'm clamping this in. We'll prime it a couple more times so that we don't wear out the battery again, since I just charged it. But let's see. Alright, y'all, here we go. more times. See if it picks up fuel through the carb. Not yet. Oh, it's not going to do it because I've got the set nuts off of it. So let me see. I may have to put the whole thing back on. I do. Darn. Okay, so I got to put the air cleaner back on here. Still can't tell if it's running on 2 cylinders or not. Not quite sure yet. So hey, both sides of the muffler are hot, so that's a good sign. Man, it's like I'm already. It doesn't take long to put a little one of them covers back on. So let me find it. There it is. I apologize. I cut grass, tested a mower today, and my allergies are kicking. But we'll throw all this in right here. Man, I'm just glad it's starting. That in itself has already made my day. Alright, 10 mil. It's in there pretty far, so. Oop. Oh, I lost the nut in there, darn. So we've got that in. We're going to do this a couple more times. Not with the straw pulling out. Alright. Let's see. There. Spray a little bit down in here. See what we can do. Alright, let's see if it'll kick off for us. Come on now. Oh. It's trying, y'all. It is trying. I can't believe this. I thought this thing was done. Alright, one more again. Wow. Alright, we are getting there. We are getting there. I think we're pretty close to having this thing run on its own. but I don't know. Whoa! Wow. Alright, well, we're gonna smoke this thing up, I know that. Well, I'm gonna have to do a carb clean, but we do have 2 cylinders, from what I can tell. And man, that's good progress. I do have to say that. Glad I don't have any smoke alarm in this garage. And I keep doing this on the off chance that it'll kick and stay running. Now, I think we got to get into the carb, y'all, but man, is that good progress today. That's really, really good. So I'm going to keep toying around and see what I can manage here. And tell you what, that's a lot better than when we started about 45 minutes ago, and a whole lot better than when we started with a frozen engine. Alright, so we'll just take this back off again since we were able to confirm that it will run briefly. Just seems like we've got carb issues still, but that's not bad. If carb issues are the last thing that we have to sort on this, well, I don't think they're the last thing, but they are. If carb issues are the worst that's left, then we're good. Excuse me. But so it looks like I need to pull this. We got to pull the fuel line off, but we can do that later. Let's see. How does this work? I think I can pull the whole carb off like, oop, not like that. Get let's see. Yeah, pull this. I gotta pull these screws off anyways. Hope we don't have a lot of corrosion in here. If at worst case I have to order a carb, but man, this is a whole lot better than what we were dealing with. I know that. So, alright, so that's clear now. Let's see if we can pull this off. Oh, no. So this linkage just pops off? No, it does not. Oh, this one. Okay, I'm crazy. I'm looking at something wrong here. Top of that carb doesn't look too bad, so that's good. So I gotta take this little piece off, which we just went through, didn't we? Because I had to pull the intake off to get the engine off. Man, guys, I've been moving so many different directions this week. Crazy. Gotta get this off. And we are pouring gas out. We'll just leave it like that. How about that? Okay, so now I'll get the fuel line off here. We shouldn't have any water, so it's just a carb. It's got to be a carb jet blockage or something that's causing our issues now. Alright, so I might have to put a new fuel line here, but we'll see if we can get it off. Yeah. Okay. Now I gotta get some cutters. Cut the zip tie off. And we can take this over to the bench now and clean it. I know I got all the linkages and mess on it still, but we'll take this over to the bench and give it a good cleaning, and hopefully, I don't know if that top jet up there is clogged, but we'll take all this off and see what we need to do. Well, we got a little bit of rust in here. So, and in the bowl, as you can see right there, a little bit. So the needle is still moving, and it almost acted like it wanted to pull some gas up through there. But this right here is frozen solid, so I'm thinking I'll just cut this. I'm going to throw this all in the ultrasonic for a little bit, see if we can get some of this freed up and looking a little bit better. And hopefully we may be able to save this one. This is too rusted for me to pull the needle and the seat out, I think. So I know using an impact is not the most ideal situation here, but we'll see if I can get it. Actually, I can. How about that? So, can it just pull off? Oh, it can. Oh, great. I think we can save this. So, I don't know about this jet, but we got all this junk down here. We can just kind of pre-soak it, put it in there, and hopefully get all this stuff out of here. Got the ultrasonic cleaner ready to rock and roll over there, and so we'll let it do its thing and let it come out, and hopefully we'll have something that we can use here when it comes to a carburetor. Worst case, we order one. Well, got it out of the ultrasonic cleaner. I have put it back onto the machine. I forgot to put all the linkages and stuff back on, so I'm going to take care of that here. Everything looked good on it, which is good. Could be a lot worse. Of course, I got to take that screw off too. Well, they call it that Friday feeling. I just completely forgot to put the linkages back on. I was about to try it out, and that wouldn't have worked very well, would it? So let's do this. And for the customer, I really, really hope this works, because poor guy sounds like he could use some good news. So hopefully we can give it to him here. Is this the way that it goes? I think it is. That appears to be. So let's see, we'll go ahead and put in this. That spring will probably come out, but we'll slide it on. We'll put the spring in once we get all the linkages and stuff back on. Okay, so I'll slide that linkage back in. Slide this back on here. Luckily, not a lot of junk got into the carburetor from what I could tell. So that's good. Hopefully we can get this on here, which we just did. Good. Alright, so all that, the linkages and everything are on. I'm going to show y'all what they look like. I believe that's correct. Only one I'm not sure about is that choke linkage, but I think I've got that right. Seems to work. And now I'll put the screw back on with the ground wire. I did cut off the anti-backfire solenoid because it was rusted together pretty bad. The rest of everything was free. The jets even looked good, so I'm thinking that anti-backfire might have been really what was causing our issue with it not wanting to stay running. And if I can save this carburetor, then that saves the customer a little bit of cash as well. I already gave him a ballpark figure of what I think. I'm missing something here, y'all. I already gave him a ballpark figure of what I think it would cost to get this fixed. It's going to be a tad more because I had to drain the tank out and stuff. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of deck work to this as well. So I think one of the spindles is frozen. So we've got a little bit of work to do here. But I'm thinking that will be good after I put, let's see, this back on. This little air filter cover is a little tricky just because of how it is. Okay. Because these screws are pretty inset, so you have to kind of feed those in there. Make sure you don't cross thread anything. So now, if everything goes well, I am going to try and prime it with a little bit of carb spray just to get it going, to get that fuel pumping again. And I'm going to get all that set up, and we'll see if we can get this thing started and running on its own. Alright, let's try it again. I think I got enough carb spray in this. I'll grab another can if I need it. And we'll turn the switch on. See if we can get it to stay running this time. And now it's not going to run at all this morning. Alright, let's try this again. Oops. Alright, come on, baby. good thing running like that. Probably. Unfortunately, this probably has flywheel magnet issues also. I feel like I've been running into this frequently with these Kohlers lately. I can go ahead and change the oil in it. I think it's ready for an oil change. I'll take care of that. I do need, one other thing I do need to do is, let's see, let me lower the deck some here if it'll lower for me. So, I think I've got one frozen pulley on the deck. Maybe I don't actually. It was earlier, I feel like. Tell y'all what, let's get it out here. I know that it's not charging, but I can at least briefly turn the blades on, and hopefully they will fire up. So let me get it out here real quick, very briefly. That's really good. So blades work, drive works, engine runs. I'm going to change the oil in it, and then we got to sort out the charging issue with it. And like I said, it's probably flywheel magnets. I'm gonna. If I get lucky, it's just a voltage regulator, but I doubt it, because it probably was working fine before that, and I doubt that the voltage regulator has gone bad. So we pulled a flywheel yet again on one of these machines, but it runs, and that's the big thing here. So let me hit up the let me get the oil change, go ahead and get that taken care of, and it could use blades, but I'll see what he wants me to do with it. So yeah, I'll go change the oil, and then we'll get this thing back into the garage for the flywheel. Whew, guys. Had the radio on still. Sorry. Finally. I've had this thing way longer than I've needed to have it. But we have got it, I think. Air filter in it. I put a carb in it. Y'all saw the process of me taking off the other carb, so I slapped this on real quick. I'm just trying to get this thing out of here. The voltage regulator, I don't remember how many times I showed, or if I showed that, but I have a voltage regulator that's pulling 13.8 volts at the battery, so that's good. The only issue that it seems like I'm having is that it hits a dead spot when it turns over. But it is so much better. It's too wet for me to get out here and cut the grass today because we've got oodles and oodles of inches of rain. But I am going to run this up and down the driveway a few times. And the deck was fine. The blades really need to be replaced, but I'll sharpen them for him because he is going to try and sell this, and he's already pretty over budget on what we originally thought was going to be just a starter. So. But yeah, so this, man, there's nothing that I don't think you could do differently. I just think that it doesn't look like it was exposed to any prolonged water. I don't know if it was just like the humidity and the moisture that was inside of the shed or wherever this was stored was the cause of it having all of these issues or what. But man, I would have never guessed that it was going to be like that to have to do. But what I'll do, I'll set y'all out. We'll get this thing cranked back up. Let's see if it'll crank back up for us reasonably now. I just think it's a little weak on the battery. Get this out, we'll drive it up and down the driveway at least, and hopefully send this thing on back. Alright, let's drive her out. what though, sometimes this is one of those where the results, when you finish, you can't wait to have it done and get it out of here. So I think this thing is ready to go home now, finally. I've had this thing over a month now, I think, on and off trying to fix it, and not trying to fix it, but just diagnosing, getting the parts and trying to sort it all out. Finally got it into the garage, and finally, I think we got it. Let's see if it starts any easier now. These Kohler twins are always bad about having a hump that you have to get over when you originally crank them, so let's see. Almost all the Kohlers are like that, so even when they're brand new. So it should get a little bit better over time as the cylinders lube themselves back up, I guess. But like I said, I just gotta I'm gonna sharpen the blades on it for him and tell him that it's ready to rock, because I know he's ready to get this thing back. He's not using this, he wants to sell it, so at least he's going to get some money back. It's not going to cost, or the cost of the repair is nowhere near the amount that he's going to be able to sell it for, we'll say that much. Alright guys, that's everything on this Toro zero turn, the Z5030 with the Kohler engine on it. Man, I knew this one was going to be a fun one, and this one was definitely an adventure, I will say that much. Definitely an adventure. At one point I was at the point where it wasn't starting earlier in the video, where I actually messaged him and said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this fixed. But then, lo and behold, we come out the next day, we get it all sorted, it does start, and now it runs really good. It surprises me. It's just one of those unfortunate circumstances. You put a mower in interior storage, you store it up, you think it's going to be fine. It should be fine because of the way that you stored it. But somehow moisture and whatever got inside of the engine and seized that right cylinder up, and it was a fighter, but we got it fixed. So we had to put a voltage regulator in it. We had to put a carburetor on it as well, because the carburetor had a little bit of rust in it. I tried to clean it, but it would run for a few minutes and then it would push gas back through the needle and the seat and would choke it out. So that was unfortunate there, but we've got it done. This mower is actually in really good shape. I told him that he may get $1,800 to $2,000 for it whenever he sells it, because it is a 50-inch cut. It's got the Kohler engine. It's in, like I said, really good shape, and probably doesn't have a ton of hours on it since it's been sitting up for a while. So thank y'all again for running with me on this adventure. Any parts I used in this video, like carburetor, voltage regulator and stuff, I'll put down in the description below, and you can buy them right there. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this adventure. I'm ready for this thing to be out of here, so I'm going to tell the guy that it's ready to rock and roll, and we'll see when he wants to come pick it up. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.